Hey, how's it going, guys? So this is going to be my top five wide receiver values heading into week five of the NFL season for DFS on DraftKings. These are going to be the guys that I believe are going to hold the most standalone value in your lineup builds for this week. So let's go ahead and take a look and jump into DraftKings. So my first guy on the list is going to be Marvin Jones Jr. for the Jacksonville Jaguars with the matchup against the Houston Texans at home. Um, Marvin Jones Jr. Was the favorite target for Trevor Lawrence last season. He's had a pretty relatively steady season so far as targets go. At least 5 targets in the first 3 games. Coming up against Philly, that secondary is just absolutely killer. Basically got shut down in that matchup. Still a pretty close game, but I think he's going to bounce back against Houston and a defense who's given up 240 yards passing so far in this season. Look for him to be more along the lines of this target margin here from 5 to 7 targets with with the hopes that he gets into the end zone as well to pay off this $4,200 cheap salary for this week. Next up on my list is going to be Michael Gallup for the Dallas Cowboys with the matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. Just came back last week against the Washington Commanders. Only got 3 targets with 2 receptions and a touchdown, which saved his fantasy day for 10.4 fantasy points. I think he's going to be a little bit more acclimated coming into this matchup. He's definitely more than capable of paying that off with the talent that he has, being that they basically chose him over Cedric Wilson. So look for him to have a good matchup going against the LA Rams, whose defense is going to be really keen in on CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz. Again, pretty good matchup. I think Cooper Rush is good enough for you to have a decent fantasy day with Michael Gallup here. My third guy on the list is going to be Corey Davis for the New York Jets with a matchup against the Miami Dolphins at $5,100. On average, he's been averaging 17 yards a catch with 65 yards a game. With Zach Wilson being back, I think is really going to help his production. Last season, when Zach Wilson was healthy and on the field, Corey Davis was targeted often and saw a lot of red zone targets as well. He's already gotten back into the end zone with Zach Wilson back. Saw 7 targets last week for 74 yards with an 18.4 fantasy day. I believe this game is going to be a lot higher as far as the game total goes than what Vegas has it at. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater and Zach Wilson are more than capable of scoring frequently in this matchup. So look for Corey Davis to easily pay off this $5,100 salary just off the targets and the ability to find the end zone with Zach Wilson on the field. My fourth guy on the list is going to be Brandon Aiyuk at $5,400. Last week, he only had 7.7 fantasy points on 4 targets and 4 receptions for 37 yards. He's kind of been back and forth as far as targets go. We saw him get 8 targets in week 2 and 3, only 3 in week 1, which was a monsoon, so that's kind of an outlier there. I think he's going to be more along the lines of that 6-7 targets range. With Deebo Samuel garnering most of the attention, look for Brandon Aiyuk to have around 8 targets in this matchup against the Carolina Panthers, who I'm assuming are going to get stomped by this freight train of a team here in the San Francisco 49ers, who's actually been off to a pretty decent start so far on the season. My last wide receiver for week 5 is going to be Terry McLaurin for the Washington Commanders with a matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Coming off a poor week last week, I believe it's only going to help ownership with Terry McLaurin, allowing you to get a lot more leverage on the field. Only saw 2 receptions on 6 targets. Still saw a decent amount of targets last week, even a poor production week. I believe against Tennessee, you're going to see him closer to that 8-9 range, really taking over that offense and really having more opportunities to come back to form around this double digits fantasy days that we are accustomed to see him doing. I look for him to find the end zone as well, and easily paying off the $6,200 price point here with the win over the Tennessee Titans here. All right, guys, so that was just a quick video for my top values. The wide receiver position for week 5 for DFS on DraftKings this week. Drop a comment in the comment section for who you think is going to be the top value for wide receivers heading into the Sunday Main Slate. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, check out the running back values video I posted as well on my channel, and let me know what you think about those value picks I have for them as well. Again, thank you guys for watching, and tune in for some more fantasy football content throughout this season. Thanks.